Now, how thin is too thin if you're a model? It's a matter of perpetual debate inside the fashion industry. The worry is that extremely thin girls in glossy magazines set bad examples for young women the world over. Now, France, the fashion capital, is considering a health reform bill that would include a ban on designers and labels from using models deemed to be too thin by healthcare standards. Italy, Spain and Israel, they've already passed similar laws. Well, in a moment, we'll be speaking to a model to find out what she thinks. But first, let's hear from Hugh Schofield, who has this report from Paris.
It's the health of young models that's the focus of this proposal in France. The fear that too often teenagers are being encouraged to slim themselves to dangerous levels in order to qualify for the catwalk. The amendment to a health law going through Parliament would require models to get a certificate testifying that their body mass index, that's the key indicator, is above a certain figure. If not, their agents risk large fines. Industry insiders say the motivation is not misplaced.
At the end of the day, I don't think you're going to see size 12 models on the runway, but at the same time, I don't think these young girls should be having to starve themselves, and I think we have a responsibility for their welfare as well. So much as I think that they are beautiful girls and they are naturally slim, the thought that some of them are starving themselves and actually, you know, damaging their health to be on the runway, then that, as a mother, then that really concerns me as well.
Paris is a world leader in fashion, so though similar laws have been passed elsewhere, if the rule is enforced here, it could set a trend. But there are worries about how hard it might be to enforce.
If we take Paris, we've had Italy, we've had Israel and Spain. Paris is the biggest and most influential fashion week considered in the industry. So you've got last March, which was for autumn winter, autumn winter or fall, as it's called, 15. You've got 92 shows. And one show runs into another. You've got models switching from one part of Paris to another. It's hard to see actually how you can police it. You've got issues of privacy, and I think this is why some fashion weeks have stepped back in the past. Right.
Deputies debate the amendment this week. It was rejected in the committee stage because some said it would breach French labour law. Supporters hope this time round it'll get the necessary votes. Hugh Schofield, BBC News, Paris.
Well, with me here in the studio is Rebecca Pearson, a model and a blogger at Modeltypeface.com. Many thanks for joining me here in the studio. So, I mean, you're a model, you're incredibly slim. Lots of models are, many naturally so.
Yeah.
But as someone who's worked inside the industry, have you often worked with male and female models who are clearly too thin, unhealthily thin?
I'll give you my honest answer, no.
Really?
A lot of my fellow models are very tall and very thin and probably under a BMI of 18. But that's not to say I haven't seen some models who have had pressure put on them by many people around them, including themselves, to lose weight to fit into sample sizes by designers.
Because where's that pressure coming from? Because there's so many factors in the fashion industry. There's designers, the agents, the photographers. Who is it that's putting on the pressure?
Well, like you say, it is coming from a lot of different people and areas, but I would say if the designers were to have a minimum sample size, then the models wouldn't have to slim down to fit into them, and then the stylists, etc., wouldn't have to get models to fit into these tiny clothes.
So I'm guessing from what you're saying that you don't actually think that using body mass index or BMI, this minimum of 18 that's being suggested through this health reform bill in France, you don't think that that's the correct way to gauge whether a model is the correct weight or not?
No, I don't, not at all, because I think it's quite a nebulous way of measuring whether a person is a healthy weight. If you look at the Victoria's Secret runway, those models, they have nutritionists, they have personal trainers, they're incredibly lean, but they are actually very healthy. I would say their BMI is under 18. You get people who perhaps aren't models, but there's plenty of people who might sit on the sofa all day eating crisps and their BMI is over an 18. It's not a very, I think there are better ways of assessing a person's health than BMI. I think that if you're going to tackle skinny models, then sample sizes is the way to go about it.
And sample sizes, currently at the UK, you're saying that there's actually no standardised size, or particularly over in Paris, the fashion capital, where they're thinking of introducing this bill. OK.
I think that's small.
One other part of this bill is the idea that agents could be fined if their models are found to have a BMI of under 18. What do you think of that? Could that actually impact adversely on the models themselves, or do you think that's actually a positive step? Because there is an issue, isn't there, of health and size in the model industry. I know you say that most of the models you've worked with don't have a health problem, but there is an issue, isn't there?
There is definitely an issue. I don't know if the way of tackling it is to say we're going to fine the agents. I think a better way of tackling it is to perhaps say we're going to make sure that a nutritionist comes in once a month to talk to the models, and then it's a much more kind of caring and nurturing way of getting models healthy and having them better educated and feeling better about their diets and their exercise.
That's a really positive thing. And of course, there's the whole issue of how you police a look like this, isn't there?
Well, you're going to get a lot of girls sewing weights into their jeans.
Oh, gosh.
And eating carrots and drinking litres of water.
Oh.
It's not a very sensible route.
Oh, gosh, giving away all the secrets now. Rebecca, many thanks. Rebecca Pearson, their model and blogger at modeltypeface.com. Many thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.